Alright everyone, welcome back to our Return to Borderlands 3 playthrough. We're back here again from on Sanctuary now. We just did the Slaughter Shaft. I thought about if we should go do the other Slaughter Shafts, but I think maybe we'll hold off for now since they're kind of boring. But I think we want to jump into the DLC, so I think right now we're going to do the Handsome Jackpot. I think that's what we kind of want to do. We kind of showed, we can show off more of the other side content later on, but the DLCs are like the big ones that I want to kind of get through. So we got the first one, the Handsome Jackpot, which is going to be our next big mission. Basically, Moxie wants us to go take over the Handsome Jackpot, which is like this casino, hotel, resort place that's like in space, and you have to go basically take it over because it's been like in lockdown ever since Jack died. And there's some pretty cool story stuff in there that we can see. The cutscene's going to play, but I'll probably let the cutscene just play out normally. Nothing too crazy. Basically, kind of explains what it is once we get there. We go to the Handsome Jack, and then plus there's a lot of good stuff. We can get a Jackpot, or not the Jackpot, what is it? The Stackbot, the Flat Class mod. And we can also just open it up and farm some of the other legendaries, because there's a lot of legendaries that we maybe want to, maybe we can check out too. So we maybe want to do that now while we're a little bit lower leveled, because some of them do kind of struggle. And we can get some of the more interesting ones, I guess is the best way to put it. But we'll go here. Before, I guess we'll kind of show off what we have. We still have all of our same stuff. I did use the gun real quick, because I saved up some Meridians. We got a Lob. We got this Butcher. We got this from Titan, actually, so that's really good. We got a Carrier, which we're going to probably use a little bit more. It's got Anointment on it, which is really good. So using our Infernal Wish, Cosmic Stalker, just as Random Snowdrift, our Surge, just for the Action Skill and Radiation. Everything else we kind of just put away and kept some other little things. Maybe use this Masher, because it's got consecutive hits, so maybe we'll try it out. Maybe instead of maybe our Boomer we'll put away. Just try it out if it's better. I'm not sure if the Companion might be a little bit better or that will be better with its Anointment, but we'll check it out and see what we need to do. So now we got Teleport. This is going to play the cutscene, I think. For the grand opening.
Money. Some people say it's the root of all evil.
I just wanna let everybody hear me say, I don't wanna be no puppet on the
Those people are freaking idiots. Money rules, we all know it. How's it going? Handsome Jack here, your best friend. You know what sucks? Everything. All the time. There's wars, there's poors, and not enough fire in the galaxy to burn it all down. That's why I built my ultimate getaway, the Handsome Jackpot. You're welcome. I, by myself and me alone with no one's help at all, combined Hyperion's most advanced space station engineering with the most opulent casino the galaxy has ever seen. The only thing that's better looking than this place is me, baby, and you're not going to be able to look in any direction without seeing this handsome mug. Spend your money in the lap of luxury. Your every whim catered to by our automated staff of robots. Full service. I'm looking at you, robo-perverts. Stuff your fat, greasy mitt with caviar, like you know what that is, and let it hang open in wonder as you behold the greatest live entertainment money can buy. The Handsome Jackpot. Once you're here, you're never gonna want to leave.
Jack's dead, but he left some things behind. I want that casino. Ready to bring down the house, sugar?
This is one of my favorite of the DLCs. I think it's probably one of the cooler areas. It's got another like interesting aesthetic of like this kind of space station casino kind of feel to it. It's very different than like I guess a lot of the other maps.
Sorry about the rough
This
entry. Security tracked
main thing is about spending money and being VIP. There's also all these vending machines, so we get a lot of money. We can actually talk to this guy and he'll actually open the door for us, but we're not that VIP. We're not going to spend all of our money. Yeah, there should be some other little stuff here. Yeah.
before we all become permanent guests. Jack's idea of a good customer was one that couldn't leave.
This Jack sounds like a real villain.
At least those have redeeming qualities. Jack was a tyrant and a bastard to his core. The only thing he loved more than himself was making others hurt. He left scars on all of us. This place went on lockdown when Handsome Jack met the business end of a vault hunter 7 years ago.
We want to make sure we hit these things, these little holograms that talk to Jack will talk to us and tell us about stuff. It's part of a little challenge. It's nothing too crazy. But since we're not really going to come through this area again, we want to make sure we get it now while we can still have the chance to get it, to do them, I guess.
Oh, that's my girl.
I think this is going to be another thing where Jack's going to basically let us in the casino, but we obviously get rejected because we're vault hunters.
Jack here. Welcome to the handsome Jackpot. Who's ready to give me their money? Hey, we got a new jump. I mean customer. Whatever, you're already here. You gotta spin the wheel to get in, dum-dum.
Hopefully this doesn't go bad for us.
When I'm running this.
Yeah, no, Maxie's start talking, but we got to press this. Basically, it's can you tell us that we're not so lucky. And we get the introduction to the loader box.
Oh, sorry, kiddos. The Jackpot can detect poverty-stricken folks.
Poverty-stricken?
A million miles away.
How they know?
VIP's only, bitch. But I'll tell you what, I've got a special consolation prize just for you.
What is it?
Let's see what you want. It's a
Yeah, these loader bots aren't too difficult. Well, this pistol's actually really good compared to what we have. So maybe you want to keep it. Since we have the consecutive hits and whatnot, that actually probably makes it work better. Especially since we can kind of maintain it. As long as we don't be missing a lot. We do miss a lot. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite of the DLC. Like I said, being the first, I think it's probably one of the more interesting ones. I think my top one is still DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood. I think that one has probably the best story and the best kind of environments and kind of weapons too. I think some of the legendaries in this are a little better since a lot of them are kind of referenced to like Jack and Moxie, and like a lot of the Moxie weapons return. Some of like those kind of like early popular Borderlands 2 legendaries and uniques were kind of remade into legendaries, like the Heartbreaker, I think the Slow Hand and stuff like that. The Creamer too. There's also like the Nuke, the Craps, the Craps. There's the I forget what the one is it called? I forget what the Jacob's pistol is, the one with the slot machine that you get from Jackpot, or the Scrap Chaps. I forget what that one's called, but that's another good one. That too, like obviously the Ember's Purge and the Scoville are another kind of fun little side ones you can get, especially if you go and do the side content. But maybe we'll kind of hold off to do that because you obviously want like a max level version of those ones, since it's really hard to get multiple of them since they're technically like weird quest rewards. But there is kind of a, I remember there's kind of like a way to like farm them or get like multiple at once, because once you get it, you kind of only have that certain one, so you can't kind of like re-roll it. So you gotta like be very particular and wait to get like the best version of it. Since I think the Scoville is only really good on like Moe's, but like the Ember's Purge is actually really good on everybody, especially Amara. So I think they like buff the basically the dot damage, because it like spawns like a little fire pool on every enemy when you kind of re-hurt them. And that little pool does a lot of damage. It can like pretty much instant kill most enemies, and it kind of isn't affected by like elemental resistance or like shields and like armor bars. And you can like, really use it to do a lot of damage, because the gun itself is like main bullet damage isn't anything too crazy. So you gotta kind of really have to rely on that. It's like elemental pool to do damage. But like seeing with like the DLC 4, like DLC 4 is probably my least played, because like I said, it is scaled so high that you kind of like really struggle, and there's no real reason to jump in it early on, because you will kind of be like struggling to do it since the bosses and most of the enemies are really tinky, which I guess makes sense because the DLC came out so late in the game. By the time everyone already had like perfect max level builds and gears, so like you would go in, unless you're going in like first time we never played the game, or with like a basic just like end game like build or whatever you found as you leveled up, you would like you wouldn't be really doing that much damage, or you would struggle, especially against like even like Evil Brick and even Mordecai. Like those are guys like you're probably gonna die a lot from them. And then even Evil Lilith is really difficult. Like he's probably one of the hardest boss in the game, I think. And even just as hard as like the final boss, Psycho Reaver. Logan Mobius isn't too difficult. He's like one of the more moderate bosses, because especially if you have during the game you have Maya with you. And Maya kind of really helps you. I didn't get anything. Sometimes you get a blackjack, but sometimes you don't get anything crazy. You only get like a purple. But like I said, it's kind of hard to like get something, because once you're too like high, close to 21, there's no point in hitting. You kind of already lost. You might as well just accept. And then you bust, and obviously you don't get anything from it. There's also all these VIP doors too. That's kind of like the gimmick, is like opening, basically spending money to get loot and get more gear and access to these like VIP areas. But once you have like a lot of money, you like, want to be coming here and opening them. everything up and grabbing everything. But like I said, there's so many of these like vending machine collectibles or boxes that you can open up and get free money from. So you kind of not have to really worry about money. I think we're almost at our first big boss. We'll probably get to maybe once we meet our special friend, who's going to be like our main eyes and ears in the place. I guess I won't spoil, but I guess everyone knows who it is if you played through the game. But once we get to his place, we'll probably take a break there if it's because this area is not too long. And once we meet the main villain of the game, our good friend Pretty Boy, he's not like the most like memorable boss, but he does his job as being a villain. The guy's like a sleazy business person who's basically mobster who took over the handsome Jackpot, or taking over this whole building basically to kind of make it run into his own. And now he's like has plans to basically overthrow like the galaxy, because secretly this isn't just a casino resort, but actually like a secret military base slash like bot loader manufacturing place that we learn later on in the game. Obviously, you know, Pretty Boy wants to use all that to basically overthrow the galaxy, which is like the big threat. And our goal is obviously to stop him and obviously free all the people out here and basically like turn this place back for Moxie over to Moxie, so she can turn it into her own little like slice of like resort basically. Yeah, so you got all of these vending machines. There's so much money you can get as long as you open them. Sometimes if you walk by them again, they'll like reset themselves and you can keep opening up again. I think we gotta go on the other side to open this up. You can get a lot of legendaries too. I know that like some of the bosses were pretty plentiful. Like badasses have a high chance of dropping class mods and some of the legendaries. Like even third rail I think will drop something if we get lucky.
There is no luck, only instinct.
We still have the cartel on, but I forgot to go grab Marcus, or I guess we forgot to grab Maurice's quest to go back to Joey. But maybe we'll kind of hold off on Joey's place for now, because we did so many times during the main story playthrough, and we don't really need to go to Joey's as much as we did before. Because now that we're in the DLCs are more. They have a lot more. You have a higher chance of getting legendaries, even in general. Even on higher main level, you're still going to get a guaranteed legendary. Which hopefully we get some good legendaries. Like I said. The Jackpot is probably our main like focus, since that's like the main meta item, especially for Flak. Some of the other guns can really help out. And really, like we want to kind of show off, because that's kind of the point, to show off all of the legendaries, because there are a lot of legendaries. Because that was like the problem with like Borderlands 2, I guess. Borderlands 2, like I don't think they really had that many legendaries, especially in like the first DLC. Aside from like some, I guess the only real big ones were like all of the like uniques that were kind of like became legendaries in their own way. Like a lot of like the Captain Scarlet items were really powerful, and they became kind of like pseudo legendaries. And then you obviously had all the Seraph gear, but the Seraph gear was kind of like iffy. Most of them weren't very good. Like obviously some of the what was it, like the Actualizer, the Odin, not the Odin, the Retcher, the Seraphim, I think it was called. And then like you have like the Patriot, the Ahab. Like, most of those were decent, but then you had the Devastator. They were decent, but you had like the Devastator. They weren't very good. The Retcher wasn't very good. There was like the Evolution, that one shield. I think there was something else too that I can't think of, but I don't think there was any big legendaries. But look at that, we got a stack bot. Weapon damage, I mean, we'll take it. I mean, it's probably a little bit better than our Cosmic Stalker. We want to maybe go down Survivor to get when we aimed our one skill that allows us to aim on sight and fight for our life. So let's see which one. This one, I think it's Dead Man's Hand. This one, this is what we want first, because we can kind of maybe hold off on some of these more powerful skills, like what is it, Hollow Point, and Hollow Point's the big one. I'm trying to see. Too angry to die. That one's pretty good. This one's kind of That one's pretty good. Like I said, all of these are pretty good. You can like it really helps you out later on once you have them, because once you kind of used to playing without them, you don't realize how good they are, especially like the aim down sights while you fight for life. But yeah, we're making it to the new area. This area isn't too difficult. Like I said, it's kind of like the introduction area where it kind of introduced you to like the enemies, which are basically just variations of the Psycho enemies or COV enemies, and obviously the loader bots, which are like the big enemy types, or the new enemy types. Anything in here? You don't have anything major to sell. Most of, like I said, we have a couple blues and purples to sell, but most of it's going to hold on to. I think, we already know that one. So sell that. I think we should. Right here, there's gonna be some of these other little bots, but we don't need to kill them because they don't
Welcome to the
fight you.
casino. So you're the big spender who's been racking up the charges, eh?
Yeah, that's me.
Well,
How'd you know?
pardon our mess. You're still working on some renovations. All you gotta know is I'm the boss. Anyone gives you a hard time, just ask for Pretty Boy. I'll sort him out for you.
So he's the boss.
Yeah,
That
he's the
man's all
boss.
teeth. Don't trust a word he says.
When did you eat that?
Yeah, Pretty Boy is the big boss. Basically, well, I guess they don't really talk about Pretty Boy that much. He's kind of just referred to be as like some guy who kind of was like a jester for Jack. Someone Jack kept around because he was like short and ugly, and Jack kind of found him funny looking. He kind of like was just here on the casino whenever Jack would come. 'Cause like I said, this kind of like, I guess I never it's implied when this was built. I guess this was built during the in between the Borderlands, the pre-sequel Borderlands 2, or maybe it was like built as like a secondary project. Because you know, like you would assume like when did Jack build all this? Since he spent most of his time on like Helios or Pandora fighting with the original Vault Hunters, or that kind of set of Vault Hunters, or the Crimson Raid, I should say. To where he's gonna go and build this casino and be here from time to time, going back and forth. And, like being here and having, you know, his doppelganger be here. I guess the big, our new, basically our ally, because we get to see him again. Since he's like the only like main character that survived, I guess, of like the original pre-sequel Vault Hunters who survived. I guess Athena sort of survived, but she's kind of was always kind of like the anti like villain, or like the main character who kind of saw that this was. Like saw that Jack was already evil from the beginning and kind of didn't play along. I guess Timothy was like that too, but he kind of was already stuck in this because he literally had to like change his whole face and body to look like Jack, and now he's kind of stuck here, being like a body double of Jack. That's like one of the only remaining ones, because I guess it's implied that Jack had a whole bunch of them, but they all got either killed by Timothy or by the other like everyday people in here who hate Jack now because they're trapped in here. See, we get 14, but now we're gonna get like 16. So you might as well, if you're gonna hit, you bust. There you go. Because you can't like pause at 16 and be like, well, give me at least like generic green. But now you got a bust, and then you get grenades, so you don't get anything.
I believe I can break this.
Still need a lot more iridium. We've been kind of lacking in iridium. That's like one of the problems with this. Is like iridium is really hard to get. That's another thing they kind of fixed with Borderlands 4. Is like iridium is a lot more common, and you get so much more of it to where like you have like over like well over 1 million iridium, but you don't really use it for anything other than for like the big encore machines. I'm curious if they're gonna do what they're also gonna do with Borderlands 4, because I know like now it's like obviously we gotta wait till 2026 to see anything big for like the cash and like the first major story DLC. Because like I said, they haven't shown anything crazy. We've seen obviously like some teasers for cash, but we haven't. I don't know if they're gonna like maybe drop something, or we're gonna have to wait till like mid-January just to see anything, or for them to even put out a teaser, or they're just gonna like shadow drop them like randomly the first week of January because you know it's already done. Who knows? Because I think cash will probably definitely get a lot of people to play the game or try to keep supporting the game. Because I think right now there's a lot of like problems of like replay value in Borderlands 4. And like having cash could like really give people a reason to go back and play through the story and try them out and see. Because I don't know if Cash is gonna be like the new like big character, or he's gonna be like even like as strong as like some other characters. Like he's like the character that like can do everything. Everyone goes and tries to do a build for him, or he has like, or he's maybe a little underpowered, because like, that would kind of suck when he's a little underpowered. He doesn't do enough damage, or maybe his acting skills aren't very good, or he just doesn't have good survivability or utility. Especially in his skill tree, because I guess it's kind of hard to kind of figure out what kind of playstyle they want him to kind of be. Is he going to be more of like a, kind of like more of like a hard DPS character, like soldier character, where he's more about like kind of like Flak, where he's more about just dealing raw damage and doing a lot of damage. He's a bit of a glass cannon, or they're going to make him more kind of like a utility character, where he specializes in like helping his team, or kind of having more of a minion sort of, maybe a minion playstyle, or being kind of more of like a support character, kind of like I don't know, like Claptrap or Aurelia, or even like Athena in like the pre-sequel, where you had certain characters that where they kind of had a lot more skills that kind of were meant to like help your teammates like heal and have survivability. Which they kind of have that in this game, or I guess in Borderlands 4 and 3, but most characters are kind of like made for solo play basically. You're not really, you can like play them without needing like a team of people to really help make you powerful. But who really knows what they're gonna do with him?
Nice seeing you, you handsome bastard. We'll be talking real soon.
And now we're gonna obviously meet our good friend Timothy, or Timothy Lawrence, the doppelganger.
No, don't shoot, this is not what it looks like. I am not Jack. Not at all.
Pardon me. So now we gotta talk to Timothy, who's our new character, which is obviously the doppelganger from Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
I am not handsome Jack.
Then why are you disguised as him? Is this one of those sex things you humans always talked about?
Look, it's all quite simple.
Yeah, he's in people lab, but we're gonna start collecting as much money as we can and loot and everything.
Yeah, I got injected with some of Jack's DNA, so from time to time I want to strangle kittens. It's a long story, but my name is just Timothy. Look, I know every unfortunate face in this casino, but you're from the outside. No one would be crazy enough to come here. Wait, are you a vault hunter?
Yes, I seek entrance into that tower.
Join the club, buttface. Oh, there's that DNA again. Oh, but you know what? Maybe we can help each other out. This away.
Boy, we gotta go do this other mission. I thought we should just rush to his little like building because it's like his little pardon me. His safe spot is over there. His safe house is over there. But now I forgot we gotta do this little mission where he has to go get the scanner piece and kind of introduce us what's going on.
21C identified. Hey there, handsome. Winning hand access granted.
Pick all this up.
Here's some gear for you, pumpkin. All right, now I got to get this transporter working before that jackhole sends more loaders after me.
Yeah, we gotta go to that like the little like store and get like the little, like I said, the transporter thing. Take your time.
Doppelganger 21C.
Yeah, now you gotta wait for him because he's gonna take his time to do his little animation and wait for the voice to do its little line.
Come on, Vault Hunter, over here.
Alright, now I'm gonna come over here. You know, actually gotta get past this big death barrier.
Okay, that's Jack's house. He's supposed to be pretty boy's base of operations. He runs the casino. A-hole. Happy for reasons. Oh yeah, death turrets. Classic Jack. He hated anyone touching
Oh, we got one of
his
the
stuff.
mimic
Say
chests,
clear if you
or the
wanna,
mimic machines. Those are pretty cool. They
not
kind of spit out a lot of loot. I don't know if they can drop many legendaries. Even at max level, I don't think I've really gotten too many legendaries from these guys. But they can drop some cool stuff. I know there's like one that's like supposed to be like a scripted one where you get like attacked by a bunch of them. And yeah, he's telling us this is broken. We gotta fix it.
This teleporter. Oh, that choke-faced pretty boy must have sabotaged his sausage fingers on me. Gotta fix this if I'm gonna get back to the hideout safe. Idea. Follow this fine-ass cupcake. I gotta get that teleporter fixed. Might be a spare part in that room. Take a gander. Oh,
You should give us a gun now if you're lucky. Yeah, because of this blue, the Just Cause. It's not very good, but it's just another fun little gun to have.
Hey there, handsome. Access granted.
Perfection
Ooh,
through
level up.
domination.
Yeah, we got more level up. We might as well get down to power inside. That's our main focus. So yeah, Torg is gonna tell us about his little thing. We obviously want to get those, but like I said, we want to get the max level, like a Mayhem 11 to get that, since we want a perfect Scoville. That's kind of the main purpose. But if you just want a Scoville, you can just get one by shooting these things. But we'll do like the last one later on. So now we're gonna come over here and get this. Yeah, Torg is gonna keep blabbing, but we get this little robot. Now we pick up this, and then we can obviously get attacked by the loaders because we're technically stealing from this fine establishment run by Jack. So now we're gonna come back. We're gonna have to fight all these enemies. But The loaders aren't too difficult, like I said. Maybe we'll jump up on another mayhem level or maybe even more, but I guess we'll kind of stay low for now. Especially once we get to max level, that's kind of when we want to worry about going up the mayhem levels. Oh, we went down, I didn't even realize, but our pet got us. I guess the damage over time is really powerful. That's why you gotta be careful. Alright, now place that. Gonna wait for Jack to look at it and talk. Now I melee that, now it works. See, now these things respawn, so now they're gonna drop more money. I don't know how it works. I guess because we went in there for a little bit and we kind of like stepped away from them, they reset themselves. So now we get more money, but these ones didn't. You can see they still have their little slots out. Yeah, when Pretty Boy's talking to us about turning in Jack, or Timothy. Because he obviously needs Jack's hand or his security access to basically have full control of the ship, or the hands in Jackpot. Which we obviously don't want him to, because he's going to use it to take over the world and basically kill us. Yeah, he's blabbing. I don't even know what he's saying. It's kind of hard to hear. Yeah, I know.
But it could be shorter, so let's make a deal.
I thought everything was going to spawn, but I think we just go into there. Should we grab some more ammo? We got some other side quests, but we're not going to worry about those for now. But you can see we still have, this is our home base where we kind of learn what we have to do. Later on, we're going to have to go kill all those like side enemies for the, what's it called, Mayor Tresslantis. So I don't think they ever give him like an actual name. Maybe they do, but maybe somewhere like a thing or it says his actual name. But they just call him the Mayor Tresslantis. He's basically Jack's tailor, and we have them like build an outfit for him. And we kind of put it on this like little model here. And we obviously have these things for Ember. Once we unlock Ember, we can like go and destroy those statues of Pretty Boy. That's how we get the Ember's Purge. So we want to hold out for that. I don't think this gives us anything other than like some like cosmetics or emotes and stuff in our little mailing system. And now he wants to talk to Moxie because he has a crush on this Moxie. I guess everyone does in this game. But Miss Moxie doesn't like. I guess she kind of does like him, but she doesn't like him. Or she kind of leads him on, or kind of says like, "Hey, you're no good. You work for Jack, and I don't like you." And now he turns around, she's gonna kind of like yell at him and make fun of him.
Pour on a little of the old Jack sauce there. Jack always gets what he wants, right? I just gotta.
Yeah, I'll let him keep blabbing. We gotta collect more loot and find all the little stuff in the corners. She's even more beautiful in holographic form.
Especially when it's being worn by a spineless lackey. Tell me why I should have
Don't ruin the moment. Sadly, you can't see any hidden features with her like you could in Borderlands 2. I don't know if you guys remember that little. I guess it was like an exploit. We could jump out of bounds, and you can like go under Moxie's a bar in like the main like sanctuary. Especially once the sanctuary was up in the sky, you could go out of bounds and look under her skirt, and like you could like see her underwear. And that was like everything everyone did. That was like a little Easter egg or like a little reference. Because you remember like watching those videos and trying to figure out how to do it. Because it was really difficult if you didn't know how to do it. Because like doing like the grenade jumping and like parkouring up into the rooftops of like certain like of the different like little houses areas. Like parkouring on like jumping on little ledges that you're not really supposed to, and like being able to clip out of bounds and then fall under the map. Those were good times. Good times. There was always a bunch of stuff like that. Those kind of like glitch videos or Easter egg videos back in the days of Borderlands. Not even just Borderlands 2, but a lot of like old games like that. And that was what everyone like looked up. Like if you go and look up this or go online, you can like find hidden secrets. A lot of them were fake, or some of them were kind of just like little things just to get views, especially back in the olden days of YouTube and stuff like that. Because if you're like a teenager or like a little kid who maybe shouldn't be playing Borderlands, you kind of looking up and trying to figure out, you see that, like, oh wait, how can I do that? I want to see, because you know Moxie was kind of like, I'm sure a lot of people was like first like overly sexual like hot character that was in a game, especially like in that time of, I guess other time, I'm not sure what other big, I guess maybe Lara Croft was one, or maybe from one of those obscure games that I can't think of off the top of my head. But Borderlands, I remember Moxie was kind of one of the OG ones. Yeah, he's still blab. He's basically telling us to go meet Ember in the Vice District.
Go convince her to join our crew.
Yeah.
Pretty boy has my number, so I'll
And while he's blabbing, we're going to put another points in. We still want to go down, like I said, Survivor, so we're kind of putting points into all of these other, not as interesting skilled points, or these stats, I guess, as opposed to like raw damage or more utility skills like fire rate, reload speed, and mag side, and accuracy and recoil recovery, or recoil reduction.
Working for Jack might be long gone, but I don't trust him farther than you can throw him. So if he tries anything, go ahead and see how far that goes.
Hey, I just wanted to say thanks again for not shooting me. Everything he has done.
So we got more stuff to say. I guess we gotta wait for him to finish his dialogue before we kind of wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Alright, I think that's going to be it for this playthrough, basically, or this part of the playthrough. Basically, we got to go to the Vice District, find what's her face, but once they're there, we have to obviously go back to the impound lot, which the impound lot's another really long area, so maybe we'll do both of those together if we can, because they do take a long time. But yeah, that's going to be it for this playthrough. Be sure to check out all the other parts, I'll maybe have this next part may out sooner or later, but who knows, especially with the holiday being around, being so soon as of recording this video, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we won't see another video till, at least another video before the end of the year, who knows. But yeah, be sure to check out all the other parts, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.